Welcome back to Now Your Mother's Hobbies. Today we're going to look at this big boy, Metal Gear Solid, the board game. It came in the mail, and looking forward to this. This is going to be our next project, so let's dig in. So on the back, we can see all of our contents in here. Like I said, this is going to be our next game. I thought it was pretty dang cool with this Metal Gear in here and these really awesome sculpts and the way that the game is presented itself. I've been waiting for this one for a long time, so eager to crack this one open with you and start our painting journey on this. So first things first, free digital VR mission. That's pretty cool that they include some stuff in here. I hope that means that we're going to get some more missions trickle down the line and keeping this board game alive. Cool Mini or Not does that with some of their other games like Zombicide and whatnot, so keeping the game alive is pretty good. First up, we've got these tokens though. And while I'm not going to open it up to avoid making a mess, we are going to take a look at some of this art here, reminiscent of some of the official artwork by Yoji Shinkawa as well as Ashley Wood, kind of like a more hyper stylized, kind of comic booky colorized version. But regardless, we have a lot of tokens here: bullets, grenades, probably mission markers, kills, death, stuns, all kinds of stuff going on there. So must be lots of mechanics to use. Hopefully they are simple. Here's our first tiles. Very bright, very easy to tell what is a wall, what's going on. Everything's very solidly marked. I like that the contrast on these tiles is very bright, colorful, and helps you see what is going on. A lot of times with these hyper detailed tiles, they'll be too dark, too muddy, too much going on. You will notice, keen-eyed viewers, that this is the starting area of Metal Gear Solid, where you enter in the water. And flipping over here, I start to realize that I think they cover all of the areas that you visit accurately, like throughout the game. There's so many tiles here. It got me wondering, double-sided, quite large, quite detailed. I wonder if they go through the entire game and their relevant maps. Here we can see some more of the helipad, and again, leading to my hypothesis that yes, indeed, I'm pretty sure we do visit all of our places. Another piece of the helipad from when you enter, I guess, this first stage. Here's the torture rack, the prison you get sent to. So I do believe, and you will see as we go through more of these tiles, I think they cover the entire map of the game. That is wild to me, that you have this experience like that, where you get to really, I think, do everything and have missions played out everything. So here's the battlefield with Sniper Wolf later, so the big snow grounds, or possibly even where you fight Vulcan Raven in the tank early on. So maybe these even have dual purpose, right? And you stack them up together, or reuse them rather, for these different scenarios. Regardless, like I said, I think this covers the entire area. This is the Vulcan Raven final fight in the freezer. They have crows or ravens to mark down. I believe that's the area here where you fight Metal Gear. Just lots of lots of detail, lots of iconic areas, and these tiles are awesome. Very detailed, very clear, and simple to see what's going on. The icons on them, they don't take away from the style. So, for instance, the arrow markers, which are most likely patrol route markers. We have Metal Gear here, seen from above in the control room. The iconic office from the Psycho Mantis fight, also super cool. The marble flooring here. Just really well made. Cool Mini or Not really knocked this out of the park. I kind of knew that they would. I'm a fan of CMON, so I kind of knew that they would do it. But this game has been in development hell for a while. So these books, this was a heavy lift. You can't see right now. We're going to pull it out of the packaging. This main book is thick. He a thick boy. Very, very big right here. Look at that. That is massive, massive for a campaign book. And as we flip through, you see why. They add in comic book stuff. I'm not sure if these are the like reissues of the official Ashley Wood stuff. Just like kind of, they look brighter, more colorized. So I wonder if they went back in and did that, or if they had someone else redo it all. I'm not sure. Might have to look that up. And regardless, though, they pump this full of detail, full of, I guess, cinematic is what I would call this. Like for a board game, to see it so well presented, so cinematic is very surprising, really cool. So going through that campaign will be pretty awesome. The rule book here, not as thick, thank God. That first book got me worried. In true CMON fashion, though, the rules are very clearly presented. Lots of diagrams, lots of examples, very clear how to go over it. CMON's always really good for that, in my opinion. I got into them with Zombicide Black Plague, and all the diagrams in there is great. Here we have codec calls. So I guess as you're going through the missions, there will be points where you can get or will get codec calls. There's also an info sheet in the back of this codec call thing for a quick reference guide. But I think you will get little more narrative. There's so much narrative packed into this, as well as this was very nice. The VR missions. So we have, you can see at the top, there's six VR missions. I thought there was five, but there's 6 VR missions. So longevity for the game, more to come, hopefully, on the CMON website. But I like to see that, because as cool as the campaign idea is, as cool as playing through the game solo or with your friends, yes, solo 1 to 4 players, I really like that. As cool as that is, and the way they presented it, and I'm excited for, it is cool to see that they have more to the game prepped, more to the game planned, that it isn't just a one and done. You can keep going. I love that. Let's get more into here, into the meat and the bones and the guts of this box. We have this little quick reference for the guards, a little small little bookmark going on. I like that. Lots of art on these double-sided character sheets. I like that. I dig that. Very clearly represented information. Again, this is just very well produced, well shown, I guess, like well displayed. Here's all your bosses and whatnot. Some of them are double-sided, some of them are not. In terms of like the single character, you can see on the back though, some of them have other bosses like Rex with the Hind D and Liquid as well. So lots of, I guess, smart use of their space, right? Smart use of their interior in the box. Here we have some dice. Probably this little red cubie. You got one little red cubie there, probably for objective markers or something like that. 2 fat stacks of cards. I like those. I'm not opening them. I don't want to create a mess. I'm sorry, we're not going to go through those, but we do have 2 fat stacks of cards. This little memory box, I like this because it is a campaign game. I like the design of this too. It is the old PlayStation 1 memory card. But I like that with a campaign game, that you can save your progress. You don't have to run through the camp if it's going to take forever. You can stop and keep going. And that also makes me think that maybe there's item continue mechanics, right? So based on your inventory, right? The game was very much procure on site, right? PCOS. So maybe there's an aspect of that. Got to check out this Metal Gear Rex Mini or Biggie. It is the same base size as the token it comes with. If you did not get the pre-order edition like I did, you will get, at least it's handy that they give you that nice big token to use. But hey, getting that pre-order bonus of a Rex Biggie is not too shabby. I like this base. It is awesome. Pretty simple to put together. So let's get to the rest of these. Something I didn't point out that I will point out with these minis is the plastic they're made of is not the usual CMON plastic. This is kind of more durable, it feels like. It's a very hard plastic, yet still slightly flexible. There's so much detail going on in these sculpts. I love it. The bases, the decorative bases, they did not have to go this hard. Oh my gosh. There's so much detail on the figures, so much detail on the bases. The material is awesome. It's very, it seems very durable to me. Here, this is a surprise. This is the disguised version of Meryl Silverberg. Really cool to see that. Um, so I guess if you're doing the narrative and you're playing through on your own, like they're really hitting all the story beats here. Super cool to see. We have Otacon here with a cool little techie pose. Bunch of trash and garbage beneath him. I guess he's holed up in his hidey hole, eating all them rations. But still cool to see. Really love the direction they went. Even with Otacon, who could probably have like the most boring pose, what is he going to have? They still think of something. We have gray neutral for the cyborg ninja. He is a both friend and foe, so it's neat to see that if you don't paint these, he's at least distinguished on his own here. Awesome base. Oh my gosh, look at that pose. So cool. So cool. They could have just gone with like a normal ninja pose, but they went with something super cool and really used those bases to their advantage. Here we have our first genome soldier. We don't have a difference between the white snow outfit genome soldiers, but hey, at least we do have two types of genome soldiers. You see the bases here have arrows to show where they are facing. It's probably for line of sight and patrol movement and stuff like that. Regardless, though, they have these cool, like, kind of 80s future body armor kind of look. Really cool. It's very simplistic, but also reminiscent of the video game, but pushed a little bit further. Of course, we have the iconic box. Can't forget about the box. We have two of these coming in the package. So I think at least two players can be stealth at the same time. Little feeties poking out. I'm glad they didn't just do like a box on the ground. You know what I mean? They did something a little extra with it. So I like having the feet poking out, even if you can flip it over and see it's just flat. Our first boss here, again, has the arrow, just like the other enemies. But iconic, awesome base. Look at that. Jeez. Reminiscent of the area that you fight him in the video game. Again, all these little nods and stuff. So cool. But Revolver Ocelot, looking juicy, looking cool. Speaking of juicy, we got our big, juiciest of men. Vulcan Raven. He's huge. Double the size of everybody else. He is heavy mini. I almost want to call him a biggie. He is up there with the Metal Gear Rex. But again, regardless, awesome amount of detail. He is looking cool. They sculpted in his tattoos as well. So if you're not a fan of painting little details, they have some guidelines for you that can help out. Sniper Wolf, I like that they did a little bit more with her, added a little wolf on there. They could have just had her standing, posing with a sniper rifle, but they chose to do a little bit more, and I appreciate that. I like that. Goes to her namesake as well. This awesome Psycho Mantis, super cool. Look at the trash heap behind him. Nice way to make him float, as well as include some of the iconic stuff from the video game boss fight. Again, lots of nods to the game in such a fun way that doesn't feel cheap. Super cool. This badass pose on Liquid Snake. So cool. And I didn't take too close of a peek, but I do think his face looks just like Solid Snake. So, or very much the same. Very much the same. But look at the detail on him. He even got his little dog tags. Man, I think there's enough space you could write on them. Regardless, though, that's it for the contents of this game. It's not a lot, but it is a lot. The miniatures. I feel like there's just enough miniatures. I like that. They don't overload you with stuff. So I'm excited to not only play the game but paint the game. And in case you missed it at the beginning, we are painting this. This is our next painting project. We will run through this. There's not that much going on. It'll be a nice break from fantasy, and we will go back to First Light and Hero Quest. As always, thank you to my patrons, thanks to the commenters, the likers, the subscribers, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye!